All right, everybody, we're going to get going. So I know Rose had mentioned it before, but in fact, yesterday, Mr. Mulligan did this. I'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow at our meeting. But on the toolbar up on your Chromebook, on the left side, you'll see a link that says Staff Resources. Now, if you click on that, you're going to see a direct link to LinkIt. You don't need a username and password. You can just, once you click that LinkIt, you're going to see whatever comes up, it says sign in with Google, and that'll give you access to the LinkIt platform. Because this will be a working session. Again, I have sign-in sheets outside for this session. I have sign-in sheets for each session. All you got to do is put your name down there, just so we can get an idea of attendance at for each session. Dan, we're ready to go, man. This is the benchmark session.
Great, thank you.
You good?
Yes, thanks for the setup. Hey, anyone need help logging in? Once you click on that link, do not worry about username or password. It's hard because it's like huge. Username and password, you must fill me out. You do not. Just click on sign in with Google. Your admin made it easier for you that way. When you are logged in, your screen will look like this. I definitely want this session, unlike the opening, which was the Listen to Dan session, I want this to be totally hands-on. So if at any point today your screen doesn't look like mine, or you need help with what you're doing, please ask. Rose, right? Rose? Yes, she totally knows what she's doing too, so you can have one of us come over and we'd be happy to help. All right, so last call. Anyone need help logging in? So you don't have to just watch me. Awesome. Okay, so Jerry, did they get these slides? Yep. Okay, great. So you all have these slides. What I did is the table of contents, which is on slide 3, and thank you for sending those. These are all hyperlinks. I'm doing a bunch of different sessions. I don't want you to have to scroll to try to find what we're doing. So we're on the how to use benchmarks to plan instruction. So once you get onto slide 3, you can just click on that hyperlink, and it should bring you there. All right. So I'm going to start with a very brief background on what these benchmarks are, their purpose, but then we're going to look at the data. Who here is new to the district? Okay, great. So let me do and welcome, yes, I heard a clap back there. Yeah! Who here has been in the district? Oh, let's give them a clap too. Yeah! Okay. I think I'm out of categories there. So with the benchmarks, especially in high school, it's very important that you're able to position them well so that students put their all into it. Because as I'm sure some of you who've been in the district know, the data is only as good as the energy the kids put into it. And in high school, especially for a K-12 district, it takes the most energy for high school teachers to position these well. So that's everywhere. So the benchmarks, just background on how they were developed. So when the state test blueprints came out back in the day, we took the 10 most common standards from the state test blueprints. So it is by no means your entire curriculum, because I don't know what your curriculum is. But we took the most common standards, we set them up to have a minimum of 3 questions per standard. Now, as a teacher, I never knew this, so I thought I think this is very interesting. If you want to make a valid test, you should have a minimum of 3 questions per standard. That's the lowest number you can have in getting valid data without having to take forever to assess your kids. Now, in English, You may have some writing as well, so rubrics can be a part of things. But on that topic, the English benchmark is 100% a reading assessment. It is state test predictive, even though it's only reading. But you may, or you, of course, also assess kids on writing. LinkIt does have writing benchmarks that have the PARCC rubric. If you ever have an interest, we can turn those on for you. But this does not directly assess writing, although there are writing standards associated. So those 10 most common standards, they have a minimum of 3 questions per standard. And because of that, the assessments are about 30 minutes. About 30 questions. We suggest the assessments take about 50 to 60 minutes. For some people, that can seem like a short amount of time for that many questions. But that is what we recommend so that you don't take away too much time from teaching and learning. And we have found statewide that is a sufficient enough time for kids to take the assessment. There are 3 assessments. There is a Form A, Form B, and Form C. And I'm on slide 21. There is a hyperlink on slide 21 if you want to click on it. You don't have to, but that'll tell you what standards are in the assessment. So there is a fall, which is Form A, winter, Form B, spring, Form C. And by the way, because we're in a smaller group, if anyone has any questions or comments, please stop me at any point. I'd rather you ask, because I'm sure others have similar questions. Yeah?
You break that assessment, we have 40-minute periods, so you
Yeah.
break that assessment into 2 periods?
For some schools, they do. Yeah, that's something I'd talk to your admin team about. But yeah, I can show you how you can how you can break up the assessment so kids can't get to it in between your classes. I don't know if we'll have time for that today, but I can at least send something to Rose that she could send out to you. It's called Deactivate a test, which basically means after your class is done, you set it up so kids can't get in, and then you activate it again the next day. And that's for any assessment. Thank you for asking that. So Form A, fall, Form B, winter, Form C, spring. The standards that are in them that you'll see on this hyperlink are the same for A, B, and C. Exact same standards, exact same number of questions per standard, exact same rigor. We use DOK, depth of knowledge, to determine that. And the Form A assessment is typically a pre-assessment because you haven't taught your standards yet. But we all know students come to us with different levels of prior knowledge, but it's hard to know what they actually know. And teaching during a pandemic, it's more important than ever to know what they know. So this will tell you that. This will help you make adjustments, like I was talking about with the opening, to your curriculum timeline. Hey, the stuff your kids know less of, you'll need to spend more time on. The stuff your kids know more of, you won't need to spend as much time on. And teachers are typically pleasantly surprised with what kids know. As a general statistic, kids who are predicted to pass a state test already know half of the questions on the benchmark. So they already know about half of what they need to for the school year before you even start. That number is typically much higher in ELA than math, because math is typically its own enchilada each year. Okay. If you want to preview the assessments, I am going to jump to the platform, and you can all do that with me, please. If you want to preview the assessments, you go to online testing, which is the screen with the green check mark. And we won't actually assign today. That's the last session. If anyone wants to come, feel free. We'll preview, but you preview it in assign. So all you need to do to preview is fill out these 4 drop-downs, and then that preview icon turns blue. Anyone need help getting to where I am? Okay, I'll show you again. Are you on the login screen? Okay, so just click on the screen with the green check mark in the middle. Once you click on that, click on Assign Online Tests. And if anyone else needs help, just raise your hand, and Rose can come around and help you. So, choose grade 9 to 12. choose math or language arts, and then you'll choose the bank that says 2122 ELA LinkIt benchmark, or BM. A bank is a folder with a bunch of tests in it. And then you'll see there's Form A and B for English 1, 2, and 3, and Algebra 1, 2, and Geometry. Form C will be on there soon, but you'll give Form A in the fall. Yes? Maybe just click refresh. It'd be a Wi-Fi issue, not a LinkIt thing. Does it work when you refresh? Science. We don't have a science benchmark because we don't have any information from the state like you on what the heck's going to be in this thing, or will. But what we do have is we have the Unit 1 practice test in grades 5, 8, and 11. The state released like 3 years ago. It's not a benchmark, but it'll let you know what those questions are like. We also have in science at specific grade levels the regents from New York, but we have aligned the regents to science standards in New Jersey. So at least the data can be useful. Now you might not want to give a whole regents, but know that in the test design session I'm doing, the next one, you can actually steal questions from there to make your own assessment too. It does. Yeah, although it's a New York assessment, our content team added the Jersey standards. So the regents aren't all the tech-enhanced stuff we have in Jersey, but at least some. All right, so to preview an assessment, you choose the bank. A bank is a folder with a bunch of tests in it, and then you would choose Form A for whatever your assessment is. Once you choose that, you can click Preview. Now, I'll just take a very short amount of time to tell you about our test taker, because I really want to get into the data with you. That's the most important stuff. So our test taker does have a student honor pledge. The intent of this was basically to say, I won't use my parent, my brother, my best friend, or Google to help me take the test. So, of course, it's not, it doesn't see if they do that, but we have found that it helps. So as students are taking an assessment, their name will be on the top left. So when you give an assessment, you'll want to facilitate around the room and make sure the right kid's on the right assessment. If they're not, you just have them exit out and get on the right one. The questions are on the right, but what I want to show you is that kids can flag questions. And by the way, you're not going to mess up anyone's data if you want to play around. These 100% auto grade. So you'll see a lot of the tech-enhanced items you see on a state test. But what I want to show you is this icon right here that says questions. This is a good one for kids to know. It's the paper and pencil. About 5 minutes before the test time is over, I would have them click on that and have them see, hey, any question you flagged, you can go back and click it. Now yours might not have a flag because I flagged mine. Any question you answered is in blue. Any question you didn't is in green. So just a good test-taking strategy no matter what they're doing, just to make sure they answered everything. And all they'll have to do, like if I want to go to the flagged question, I just click on it, and then I can answer it. So I'm going to transition to looking at data, which is our main focus. Any questions on this from what I showed you? All right. In the slides, just so you know, as we are looking at data, I have specific steps for you. So I am going to show you how to get in to reporting, choose a class, select data, choose a test. There are all those steps here. Also, we'll be diving into specific reports. For those reports, on the top right, there'll be help resources. They say print, video, and quick view. Those are all the same content. It's just different modalities of learning. A how-to sheet, a video, and the quick view are animations. So I say that to hopefully alleviate any stress of how am I going to remember this, because all the help resources are here. And we're going to do follow-ups during the year. For those who were here last year, you know we did those micro PDs that Val set up, and we're going to do something probably similar this year as well. Okay, so please click on the bar graph. You may need to find your way back to the LinkIt tab up top if you are in the test taker. You got to just click above the address bar. And then click on Dashboard. Now I am in here anonymized, but actually I'm going to take that off. And let me be one of you. Could I get a volunteer? We are looking at last year's data, so it has nothing to do with you yet. Can I just get someone's name? Oh, thank you. Derek? Gary. Round of applause. Thank you. Oh, that's not you? Did you voluntold someone? Oh, come on. Take away that hand clap. Can I have your name? What is it? Gordon. Thank you. Man, doesn't he need a consequence or something for that? Sharon? Okay, great. All right. Well, now for Sharon at least, you know. I don't know about that guy, but thanks for the laugh. That was good. All right, so when you log in, you should see your name on the top left. Is that true for you? Okay. Anyone need help getting here? All right, this is the exciting part in a true way. Okay, so you teach multiple classes of kids. So your rosters sync every night. Are you all Genesis or what are you? What's your SIS? Real time. Okay, real time. So we sync with real time every night. So as of course you know, your kids will change classes a bunch these next few weeks. So that changes every night. So as long as it's put in real time the night before, you'll be able to see information on your kids as it switches. You'll see when you click View Class. So do not click Select Classes. That's a different purpose. Happy to show you that another time. But for now, click View Class. And you'll see there are classes, if you've taught here for a while, like Sharon, you'll see your 2021 classes. And it says 2021 in the parentheses. If this is your first year, you won't see that. But on the top are your 21-22 classes that have no year with them. So do me a favor, choose one class. And Sharon, what grade do you teach? All ninth grade, okay. So we actually, you'll see iReady data. Okay, well I'll do the ninth grade quick, and then we'll do the 10th and above. So if you are a ninth grade teacher, once you have chosen a class, you can click Select Data, which is the big green button. And you'll see an exciting white screen. And by the way, if you are a 10th or above teacher, you can also click Select Data once you chose a class. Anyone need help getting here? Okay, the reason you have a blank screen is it is only looking at data. Okay, thank you. It is only looking at data from this school year. And nothing's happened yet this year. So that's why it's blank. So if you want to see historic data, which is what we care about, click on 2021 on the left and click Apply. And then you should have some stuff in there. Ooh, very nice. Okay. So, hey, if you're an ELA teacher, you may be saying, why do I have math in here? But the whole idea of LinkIt is that everybody can see everything. So, hey, if your kid is doing great in ELA, you could see if they're also doing great in math or vice versa or whatever. So if you are a ninth grade teacher, hover over iReady and click on the green person. If you are a 10th or above, there'll be a red stethoscope. You want to click on the red stethoscope. Yes?
With one thing that probably affects more of you, if you co-teach, it just takes us a little while. It's not hard to use as co-teachers.
Yes.
But if you have a co-teacher, please email me and we'll add a co-teacher. Yes, so please do that, and I apologize.
Could I get the name of a true 10th grade teacher that's not being voluntold? Yeah. Thank you. Carter? Thank you. Marilyn? Yep, Malin. Thank you. All right. So let me just jump in for 10th. So for 9th grade teachers, that's their overall score that you're looking at. And I'm really going to focus on 10th grade so you can get to see what your benchmarks will look like. All right, so you clicked on the red stethoscope. I'll go back in case you didn't see that. I hover over the test I want, and then I click on the red stethoscope. You'll want Form C, which is the end-of-year assessment from last year. Now, another thing that could be of interest to you is on the right-hand side here, it says result counts. So I'll let you know how many of your kids actually took it. All right, so if there's one thing you remember from today, I hope it's this report. I think it makes the most impact on instruction. So this is class diagnostic. The column that has all the colors, if you click on a column header, it organizes things low to high or high to low. So if you click it average once, it goes low to high. And if you click it again, it goes high to low. So this is what I was showing during the opener. So this is your curriculum timeline adjuster. You can see which standards your kids are more proficient in. So thank you, last year's teacher. The kids rocked this standard. So this is what I'm inheriting. My kids really know this standard well. That's awesome. As I scroll down, everyone will have standards that are not in green. It is no one's fault. It just means these kids are less proficient in this standard. Some of you may have things in red. And this goes back to what I was saying in the opener. It could be the teacher didn't have time to teach it. It could be the kids forgot it because it was from the early in the year. Or it could just be a tough standard. But this is technically saying out of all the questions for this standard, in this case 3, the kids got 36% of them right. Or on the positive end, if I go to the top, out of all the questions on that standard, my kids got 97% of the questions right. My kids know that standard. They have a solid foundation. That's awesome. So in math, things are a little less spiraled than they are in ELA. So you'll just have to see, for the standards you are teaching this year, which of these standards support a foundation in them. Now, where this gets even more useful, and I'm just going to do it this way to save some time. We're not going to actually print. We're going to save these. So please go to Print and Print Current Class. So even if you don't want to save it, please go through the process so that you can just learn it. When you go to Print Current Class, it opens everything up in a very useful way. So it might be a little hard to see, so I'm going to zoom in for you. So what it does is it gives me the names of the kids. So hey, the second standard, my kids got 88% of the questions right. Awesome, almost everyone knows it. But hey, this one kid I want to pull who didn't get any of the questions right when I teach a related standard this year. Because this one kid will need that support. And this has every standard automatically open. Now on your screen, it's going to be hard to read until you save it. So let's talk about saving it. Do you have black and white or color? Okay, so to change it, this is a computer setting. So this will make a lot of websites save better. Go to More Settings on the right. And then go to Background Graphics. Check Background Graphics. That will save on this computer once you do it. If you also work on a desktop, you'll have to do the same there once. Is it color now? Usually I get oohs and ahs, people. There's nothing? Get nothing. Oh, no, just to save the PDF. Now change your destination to PDF, just so I don't use all your color ink. So now change the destination to save to PDF. Some districts you can save to Google. I don't know if you can. Can you from there? Okay, so save to PDF, and then you hit save. When you save it, I would give it the name of your class, because it's just going to say class diagnostic, and you're not going to know what it is. So, you could say class diagnostic, period 1, or whatever you want to call it. But the save will turn out really nice. Let me find mine. So this is your save. It has the standard, the description, percentage of questions that were answered, and the names of the kids. So people typically save this for the year or semester because when you teach a related standard, it's good to know what kids know. Yeah.
So I only have, for the, when I teach sophomores, I only have that one test available. If I taught juniors and seniors and there's multiple ones, which ones do we pick?
Okay.
Like English 2, English 3, English
Yep.
which one do you pick?
So I would choose Form C from those.
From any of them?
Yep. And your student fingertip profiles, those will have all of that for each individual kid. But if you want it smashed together for a class, which serves a different purpose than an individual kid, then you would just choose Form C. But your point, I'm glad you mentioned it, could be really useful. If you're the Algebra 2 teacher, you may want to look at Algebra 1 from 2 years ago, because that may be more important to you than geometry. I never taught math, so hopefully that didn't offend anyone. But that's what I hear. Okay, so any other questions? Thank you for that one.
I have one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at senior data,
Yeah.
and I'm not seeing any math diagnostic data in this form. And, no stethoscope available for any of the math.
Oh, you have to choose a LinkIt benchmark. So I'll show you that on this next part, okay? So I want to show you now how to get to other classes' data so you can do the same thing, and also this will help support the muscle memory. So please, on the top, it says Class Dashboard and Teacher Dashboard. Please click on Teacher Dashboard. All the way in the top, these are hyperlinks, and all these steps are in my slides. Teacher Dashboard, you get here back to your name. Anyone need help getting here? Okay, choose a different class. I did that under View Class. I didn't touch Select Classes. Again, different purpose. I go to View Class.
Now I'm only seeing the wrong year. Where can I change the year again?
If you do that, just hit the refresh button on the top. Does that solve that?
Yep.
Great. So choose a new class and then do Select Data. Now, some of you may not see the LinkIt benchmark straight away. So like that was what your question was. So just type in the word form here. It's a search. So searching anything that says form something. And then find the LinkIt benchmark for the assessment you want to see. So it could be from a year or two ago. And then click on the red stethoscope, and it's kind of the same thing. So let me give you a minute to do that. And I'll walk around if there's questions. You can do that for multiple classes. But yeah. Okay. So these data sets, are you ninth grade?
I'm seniors.
Seniors, okay, so this is like SAT, so it doesn't have that.
Okay.
But if you type in the word form and search,
Oh, okay.
that'll just be the shortcut to seeing the benchmarks. And looks like that's the one they took.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Basically, we only get standards level data from assessments taken in LinkIt. Anybody need anything?
I have a general question.
Yeah.
When we're assigning a test,
Yeah.
can we
Yep,
Okay, so,
unless it's a benchmark that's already created.
okay. All right, so we really have to start with test design?
Yeah, that's my next session.
Okay.
Yep, and we do have item banks you can take stuff from. We have all the park items, we have Regents items, or you can make your own.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yep, finger whatevers. Yeah. Yes. When you download it, instead of downloading all classes, underneath it will have terms. So choose 21, 22, or whatever it says here, and then just click download for each class individually. And if once you try, if you need help, let me know. Yeah, because doing everything together is a pain. Yeah. Alphabetical, which doesn't help you. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
What's going on?
Hey.
So here, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to dashboard, right?
Yeah.
Now I go to here. Now I don't know what to do, so
Okay. View class, but you probably don't see this year's classes, or do you?
I have no idea.
That's what's happening. He's just getting a blank 1, 2, 3.
Oh, look. Yep. So these are this year's classes.
Oh, these are this year's.
Yep, because
Okay.
these say 2021.
Okay, click on that.
Yep.
Okay.
Select data. And then you get an exciting blank screen because by default it's only showing this year's data, which is nothing. So choose 2021.
Okay, so if I go back to this. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So this is the only time of year you have to do that. During the school year, the idea is like, let's just see this year's stuff.
Yeah, or if you're curious,
And
you
then
can
now
select.
I
And then apply.
Apply, gotcha.
There you go. And
Okay.
now, yeah, when you hover, you get those choices.
I see.
And it's
Good.
the red one that is this class icon.
Gotcha.
Cool. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. All right, so this is where we may do different stuff. If you're feeling like this is all I need, I just want to look at this for all my classes, feel free to just do that for our last 10 minutes. If you want to see other stuff LinkIt can do, well then you can join the journey with me up here. But again, I have no problem if you just stick to class diagnostic, if that's all you want to see. I know you have kids coming when, tomorrow? Friday. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with only looking at one report and using it. And if you need any support with how to do this, again, the slides show you reporting, dashboard, select, choose a class, select data, class diagnostic. And then when you're done, teacher dashboard and the whole thing. Now, 9th grade teachers, I want to show you something that could be of use. Let's see. We got 5 minutes or no? Okay. Oh, you want a minute at the end? Yeah, yeah, totally. So 9th grade teachers, let me just show you this. When you're in an iReady assessment, oops, I need to be a 9th grade teacher. What was the 9th grade teachers? What was your last name? H, you said? G, okay, thank you. Thank you. Nope. Thank you. Sharon, that's right. For 9th grade teachers only, when you're in iReady, if you click on those 3 lines right here, this will give you the subscores. So this could be even more useful. This lets you know how kids did for each subscore. So again, I clicked on these 3 lines just for 9th grade teachers.
I don't have the little red stethoscope for iReady.
You don't. Red stethoscope is only assessments taken in LinkIt. iReady doesn't give us a breakdown by standard, just these subscores. Once you're in the green yippee person, Yippee, and then just click these 3 lines right here, and then you can get the sub-scores. Yep, okay. So I'm going to do a whole session on student fingertip profiles, but just in case you can't get to that, I just want to show you how to get these because they're going to be super useful for you. Unless, are all of you coming to that? Maybe? Okay, let me just show it to you. So do me a favor, get back to this screen. It probably says test assignment on it. If you're like me, you have a million tabs open now. So you just want to find your way to the screen with the blue banner on top. If it's hard to find or you deleted it, just log in again. So this is our login screen. Mine says test assignment on the top, but you got to go all the way above the address bar to find it. Okay, once you're here, please click on Navigator. All right, anyone need help getting here? Okay, thank you. So what you're going to do is basically click on the folders that are in 2122 a bunch. So I click on 2122, I just keep on clicking until I get a PDF. Because you're a 9th grade teacher. We don't work with the middle school, so we don't have these. Huh. Let me do something quick here, and you may see it. Hit refresh, see if it's there, please. Boom, the power of the publish. Okay, so click on 2122 and just keep clicking. And, oh, I should be in here as a teacher. Okay, so what you can do is double click a PDF, okay? If it's hard, if the double click doesn't work, you can just check and click download. Either way works. What you'll be prompted to do is you'll be prompted to download all classes, which means you'll get a single sheet of paper for each kid in alphabetical order for all classes. So that is kind of going to probably be a pain because you're going to want to separate it for each class. So instead, underneath download all classes, what does it say? So click on 1, 2, 3, 4, which means this school year. Once you click on that, the drop down underneath that is going to have each of your classes. Do you see that? Choose one class and choose download. The intent is to download each class as its own bundle. And I'm going to have to stop because I know we have a tight schedule. But what you'll see is a summary of your students' proficiency last year for one kid. So Class Diagnostic puts all of these together. And this is if you wanted, people put this in their clipboard. They print it out. As they're facilitating, it helps them get to know each kid better.
So this was just a taste. Can you hear me back? Okay. So this is just a taste. And if you're interested in learning more about the fingertip profile, that's our 10-20 session. Just a few things.
Okay, staff. Time to move on to your next breakout.
My mistake for going long, sorry.